Hey guys, so we're just here with one of my old clients, well, still is a client really, Lee Wharton, and we just wanted to have a quick chat and give you a few tips and techniques of what kind of me and Lee did to help him change his dieting strategies, but also help him out with his fat loss and his muscle gain and things like that. So we're just going to give you a few tips really of what worked for Lee and kind of the strategy, what we use to help Lee through this process. So I know you were just saying, Lee, about how your dieting strategies before were like kind of low carb stuff. And,
yeah.
And you know, when you were doing like low carb, zero carb, how was that making you feel on a day-to-day basis, would you say?
I was feeling like very lethargic. I had no energy because I was literally, my carbs were coming through vegetables, through basically we cut out like rice, bread, potatoes, all that kind of stuff. So we weren't really getting many carbs in anyway. So it was just all through like salad and veg and stuff like that. And I was feeling very low. I had no energy in the gym.
Strength down and stuff like that.
Yeah, like not very strong in the gym or anything like that. Cardio, I couldn't really do much cardio because I felt that I was running out, not out of breath, but I was knackered a lot easier.
Yeah, sure.
Like all the running and stuff was no intervals or anything like sprint intervals. It was all just slow plodding and stuff like that because I was knackered all the time.
You just felt lethargic.
Yeah, just no energy or anything basically.
Sure, man. So when we started working together, we kind of switched things up. We started bringing more carbs into your diet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just give everybody a little bit of insight of what we did initially, and then you know what we did after that to start dropping body fat.
Well, basically, we started. It was about 250 grams of carbs per day.
Yeah.
And we started that for the first week to see how my body reacted to that really.
Yeah. And how many kind of calories were you eating at that point?
It was just over 2,500, I think.
Yeah.
Like 2,700, something like that, I think it was.
I think initially we were like 2,400, 2,500.
Yeah. And then we kind of worked it.
Yeah. So you started out roughly about 2,400, 500 calories.
Yeah.
And then we just gradually increased that each week, didn't we?
Yeah. It was 10 grams of carbs per week. And I think towards the end we kind of brought it up to 15 or 20 a week because we got it up to 360 grams.
Yeah, which is a pretty big deal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was still dropping body fat through.
Yeah. So we'd gone from 2,400, 500 calories a day right up to just below 3,000 per day, and Lee actually dropped body fat in that process, which you know is typically doing something like that's looked at as, you know, you wouldn't think of increasing calories and, you know, body fat dropping at the same time, but when you do it in that controlled manner, you do typically find a lot of the time, you know, you end up training harder, you end up, you know, just doing basic things around the house, which creates more energy expenditure. And, you know, you do actually find as you increase calories, you waste a lot more calories as well, and a lot of the time you do drop body fat by increasing calories, which is pretty cool and it's pretty interesting to see. So then we got your calories right up to, say, let's just under 3,000, right?
Yeah.
And you're eating like 360 grams of carbs per day. So then when we said, right, you know, you wanted to go away on holiday and things like that and get a little bit leaner, what did we do after that?
We brought it down. I think we started with 10 grams less per week.
Yeah.
As we've done on the reverse diet, didn't we? And then we started doing the same process.
Yeah. So if I remember right, typically when we have that capacity of food, so let's say we got up to 3,000 calories per day, I'd typically say, right, let's take out 300 or 400 calories.
Yeah.
And typically those will come from carbs as well. And that initial drop will actually, you know, initiate some more fat loss, but at a quicker pace. So we've got your body adapted to an higher amount of food, and then after that, you know, we've dropped 300 or 400 calories to really, you know, start the fat loss phase off, if you like. And you know, we reached your goal pretty comfortably, really, in the end, didn't we?
A lot quicker than what I thought, to be honest. As well.
And you know, the main thing that I try and bring across to people is, you know, let's eat as much food as we can, whilst we're still dropping body fat. You know, and it makes the dieting process so much more enjoyable, and you know, it's just easier. You know, I hate people going on a diet and just feeling lethargic from week one, you know, because it just doesn't have to happen that way. So All right, cool. So if you were to give, you know, someone starting out, like tracking the food and things like that, just a couple of techniques,
Yeah.
you know, to really start digging into things,
Yeah, I mean, like,
what would you say?
I mean, stuff I learned as well was like planning on what you were going to eat that day. Like,
Sure.
even if I was going to have, say, a cheat meal or something like that.
Yeah.
If I was going to have fish and chips, I would put that into MyFitnessPal. I'd put it into the app straight away.
Yeah.
And then I'd work the rest of the day around it.
Sure.
So if that was going to be, I don't know, 600 calories or whatever.
Yeah.
X amount of protein, fat, I would then put my breakfast in. I'd then put my other main meal in, and then obviously little snacks and everything go in between.
Sure.
And then I'd still hit my target for the day. And I think weighing your foods, I used to think that people were obsessed when they were weighing the foods, and it was only people that were going to compete and stuff like that. But to be fair, I found it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy weighing foods.
It takes like 10 seconds.
Exactly, it doesn't take long. And once you realise how much, I don't know, 100 gram of chicken looks like, you can kind of gauge it without having to weigh it specifically every day anyway.
Yep.
So I'd just say a lot of it's just planning, pre-planning.
Yep. Just
See what you're gonna
engaging
do
in the
in the day,
process
yeah,
as well,
exactly,
right? Yeah, because I always say, like, if you engage in that process for, you know, 3 to 6 months, like, that information, that skill set stays with you for life, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You know, so you know now if you ever want to get to, like, single-digit body fat levels, you know roughly how long it's going to take you within, you know, 2 or 3 weeks, and you're also still eating a ton of food while you're doing it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that's a win-win, really.
Now I was eating more. I was eating more food per day, but like when we started it off and did the reverse diet, as my carbs got up to 360 a day, I was still dropping body fat. So for me, I'd never ate that much food and was still dropping weight because my body had finally adapted to the way I was eating. And
and you know, like I always talk about, you know, your body can adapt on the up as well as the down as well. So, you know, let's get you used to eating more food first and then have a decent capacity of food to then come back down from. You know, and it just makes everything a lot more easier.
yeah,
All right,
definitely.
cool. Cheers for that, mate.
Cheers
Anyway,
for that, Matt.
and
Thanks for that, mate.
chat soon.